Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the inaugural meeting of the Otago Central Lakes Regional Deal Negotiation Committee. One of the more memorable titles for a committee in New Zealand, I'm sure. And this is our first committee. We are running this, obviously, as we all know, and for those of the members, any members of the public joining us online, and we are scattered around the region and elsewhere. So please bear with us as we work through some of the logistics of trying to remember how we used to run committees under COVID. So it's my pleasure to basically commence this first committee meeting by seeking the election of the chair. And once the chair has been elected, then I will pass the meeting over to the chair, and it'll be for the chair to run the balance of the meeting. Administratively wise, we have John Winterbottom from QLDC, who's acting as the committee secretary today, and he is online and is there to assist with basically doing recording and putting up any, should we ever get to a point where we need to put up some amendments or put some material on the screen, John will be able to do that. And this is being live streamed. We've got Ben Scott somewhere in the ether live streaming us as well from QLDC. So there is a point at which we'll move into public excluded, and we'll need to make sure that Ben is communicated to and that we do move into to public excluded. So without further ado, I'm going to move towards the election of the chairperson. And you'll see that in the run sheet that's been circulated to the chairs and the mayors that we've got a slightly amended resolution that we're putting forward. And that is that we're seeking to appoint a named person to be to be chair of the Otago Central Lakes Regional Deal Negotiation Committee until the end of the current triennium. So that reflects the status that we have under standing orders, and is very obviously, as we know, is commonplace amongst most committees, and recognises the fact that a number of the participants on this will obviously be up for election. Some people are potentially not standing again. The chair of Otago Regional Council is obviously a decision for the incoming council to make. And so it seems appropriate that both the chair and the deputy chair of this negotiation committee be time-bound until such time as a new triennium is in place. So the resolution that we're seeking is to appoint that person, so at this stage only the chair, for the Otago Central Lakes Regional Deal until the conclusion of this current triennium. So at this point I'm going to invite if anyone wishes to nominate any member of the committee to be the chairperson.
I'll jump in then. Chief Executive, thank you. Did have my hand up, but obviously COVID times have meant that you've lost. I've lost how you've actually run these things over the ether. I'm happy to move Gretchen as chair of the Otago Central Lakes Regional Deal Negotiating Committee until the end of the current triennium.
Thanks, Mayor Glynn. Is there a seconder for that?
Yes, I'm happy to second that.
Thank you, Mayor Tamar. So we have a strange, under the way that the memorandum of for this says, it talks about a consensus vote, and we had a big debate internally about what consensus and vote meant when co-joined like that. So really what I am going to do from a pragmatic point of view is ask if for those members online whether anybody has any objection to the nomination of Gretchen as the chairperson. So perhaps if you could either put your hand up or I think give us a small number, just let me know if anybody does have any objection to that. Excellent. I take silence as being golden and silence as being consent. So, John, can we just record that there was, by consensus vote, Chairperson Gretchen Robinson from the ORC was elected as the chair of the negotiation committee till the end of the triennium. So, congratulations, Gretchen. Probably one of life's smoother votes. And now I'm going to pass over to you to pick up and start with the appointment of the deputy chairperson and then carry on the rest of the meeting. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Mike, for starting off that. And just before I quickly get on to the election of the deputy, I think it would be great to start with a karakia, and also I just might say a few words. It's a momentous occasion, and then we'll quickly get into the deputy chair. So tua ke runga, tua ke raro, tua ke waho, tua ke roto, tua ki te here tangara, ka rongo te pō, ka rongo te ao, haume e, hui e, tae ki e. And tēnā koutou katoa, thank you. Thanks heaps for the opportunity to be here within this joint committee. It's really pleasing to contribute, and I know that everyone else here will be feeling the same way. It's a genuinely exciting opportunity, and it's a big responsibility, a tough challenge for us all, but not in a negative way, but because it means so much. So yeah, we'll be dealing with significant issues, and there's enormous potential here. With local government elections on the horizon, there's every chance that it could well be a short stint, but it's a really important one. And regardless of timing, our collective commitment here should be to bring people together, keep up the momentum, and lay a really solid foundation. So yes, awesome to see you all here. Welcome, great to have you. Thanks to your councils for putting you forward. Thanks to the staff for supporting us too. It'll be great to collaborate in this joint committee. I think in an environment where efficient and effective local government's under the spotlight, coming together and leaving behind old competition and making good things happen is really vital. So we've got a real chance to lead positively and show the real value of local and regional government and what we can bring by working around the table with central government. Today marks the beginning of something significant, a new way of working together across councils and with central government to deliver enduring outcomes for the people in the places we serve. We're here because we do want to work together and can combine our strengths. So yeah, I think just as we kick into this, we do have to remember what a regional deals framework is all around and it does set some clear direction. So just as we go into this meeting and the start of this, it's important to remember that it's about growing regional economies or sub-regional, delivering connected and resilient infrastructure, improving access to affordable quality houses. Those are the core aims, but they're backed by broader objectives around greater local central collaboration, improved funding and planning tools, and better partnerships with iwi, business and community. So yeah, to even be considered for a regional deal, regions have to meet a really high bar, and I'm proud to say that our three councils have brought the necessary ingredients to the table, and we've done that quickly and we've done it confidently. Selection for the first wave of deals will be based on key criteria, and we've demonstrated that we're a high growth area with clear economic and infrastructure priorities, that we already have functional economic partnerships and spatial planning underway, and that collectively we have the capability, capacity and track record to deliver. So we've got a really strong ability to work in partnership there, as I've talked about already. None of us have done this alone. I want to stress that too. And we weren't expected to. Each council has brought something different and vital along. And just a few examples, Queenstown Lake District Council was led, and we have to thank them for that, with depth and foresight in long-term strategic planning, including its existing urban joint growth partnership, the Grow Well Whaiora work, but there's many other examples as well. Central Otago District as well has played a key leadership role in collaborative water infrastructure planning. Really awesome work there across a number of councils, demonstrating that, which was a key area as well on regional deals, and also recently developing their 10-year development and infrastructure reporting as well. Otago Regional Council, we have a fresh regional policy statement, and with a regional view of environment and development as well. And importantly, I suppose each council does come to the table with its own established and growing relationships with mana whenua and with the private sector. So it's a real strength, and together we meet that full spectrum of what's required. Alone we don't. So we need each other here. And yeah, that's what it's all about. So yeah, it's not about who leads or who benefits more here. This is about being deeply connected, and our communities, resources, and the opportunities there are shared. It's not a competition, it's a commitment. And yeah, together we'll focus on ensuring that we're united so that we set up a really stable base to hopefully deliver for the future. So yeah, it's the first formal meeting of many. It may be only a few that we're involved in, but that's important in laying that foundation. So I just want to say a few words about, yeah, it is an important occasion. And yeah, just thank you for your commitment and the work that you've all put in to date, and looking forward to a lot more. And we need to move on to election of the deputy chair. So do we have any nominations for this role? Okay, we have Tamar.
Yeah, I would like to nominate Councillor Patterson, but I don't know that she wants it because she's not sure how much the time constraints might be. I wondered if you wanted to talk through that briefly, Gretchen, as to what you anticipate is going to be required of that role, recognising that you've just stepped into the chair role 30 seconds ago.
Thank you. I think the intention here is to meet monthly. We need to discuss that though. It's on the agenda. So yeah, I imagine that the chair and the deputy chair would have discussion before that and ensure that we're all ready to go. But yeah, it'd be monthly commitment, which is probably not hugely more onerous, I wouldn't think, than all of the other yeah, roles that we hold already.
Yeah, okay. Well, I don't mind that nomination. I just capacity wise, I certainly, if that's your word, Gretchen, I'll take you at it.
Seconded.
Seconded by
Unless there's someone else who's got the burning desire.
No, sorry, Tracy, that's it. You're on it now.
I've forgotten Mike's words for how we do the voting here, but yeah, that's great. We've got a mover and a seconder, and we have anybody that wishes to speak against, or we've had some questions. No, okay, I'll put that then. All in favour?
Aye.
Aye.
Well done, Tracy. You have been elected the deputy of the Otago Central Lakes Regional Deal Negotiation Committee. Thank you very much for stepping forward into that role. Did you want to say anything, Tracy, just quickly, now that you've been elected?
No, Gretchen, I think your words were quite spot on. And considering I wasn't quite anticipating this, I'm probably still in a little bit of shock, but that's okay. I will. Yeah, you've got my attention anyway. So
fantastic. It'll be great to have you. Thank you. There's no apologies that I know of, but I could have missed someone. Are there any apologies? No? Okay. Just a reminder there on declarations of conflicts of interest, and as always, that's really important and critical as we move through here. So that's there, setting out a foundation of ensuring that though when you or if you have a conflict of interest that arises, a reminder to stand aside. If anybody would like to note any now, you're welcome to as well. No, nobody is at the moment. Thank you. You'll note that there's the requisition for an extraordinary meeting, which has been included there as part of the meeting, which just shows that this is all done formally and that, yeah, we've established the context for having this meeting. We don't need to move and second it. It has been signed. So just noting that that is there. And at this point, we can move on to the first paper. Hopefully everyone can pull that up quickly in front of them. We're looking at joint committee operations. Thank you very much to staff who have pulled this paper together. So I'll ask in a minute whether anybody would like to present the paper.
Sorry, just a quick governance note. I think we need to confirm the agenda.
Oh, sorry, confirming. How did I miss confirming the agenda? Yeah,
there's a run
absolutely right. Thank you. So, can we confirm the agenda for today? Are there any changes? No changes to the agenda.
So you move, Chair. I'm happy to second.
Thank you. I'll move. Seconded, Mayor Lewis. All in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. Thank you. Thanks for the reminder there. Okay, so we're on to the first paper then, the joint committee operations. And as I was saying, we can come to whether any staff would like to present the paper. Thanks for providing us with options here as well. We'll have any questions. We'll probably need to take potentially, we might need to take 1 and 2 separately and have any questions and debate on them, and then 3 and 4 around timing, we can probably take them together. So if staff would like to say anything about this, now is the chance.
Kia ora koutou. I probably won't say anything about it. I hope it's pretty self-explanatory. This first paper is about some not so much administrative, but operational things that we just need to agree on before getting into the business of the committee, because this is the first meeting. So hopefully it's self-explanatory, and if there are any questions, I can answer those.
Sorry, slow to unmute. Thank you very much. Right, so yeah, we've got the jobs here today to agree on appointing or not a subcommittee. So we might start on sorry, Glenn, you got your hand up there. Don't know if there's any questions on that one particularly. No. Shall we get that one done then and move that one? And I'd be happy to move to agree not to appoint a subcommittee at this time, if there's a second.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
Right. Does anybody want to debate that one? No? Okay then, we'll put that one. All in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. On to the next one then, which is directing the chief executives to appoint an advisor to provide support and to take the role of independent negotiator if required. Happy to take any questions of that one. Mayor Glynn.
Thank you, Chair. Just a real quick one. Given we're under some time constraints, how would we go about, just for a procurement side of things, to appoint a negotiator?
I think the intent was to do a direct appointment process on the basis that there's probably not very many people who have the skills that we would need in this case. So the idea was that we would come up with a shortlist. Probably you would discuss it and agree which one we wanted to take through that direct appointment process. Well, approach to see if they're available would be the first step.
Okay, thank you.
Councillor Cox.
Yeah, just a quick question on understanding that have someone just in case, or may not be used straight away. What's the normal thing with this? Do you have to pay a retainer to hold the person available, or do they just get paid when they're used?
I could come back to you on that, Councillor Cox. I would expect that it would be an arrangement where we have been through the contracting process, but it would be an open contract that would, depending on when and how we needed them, that we would pay for them when they supported us, rather than on a retainer. But I'd have to confirm that. That would probably be something that we would work out during the procurement and contracting process.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any further questions? No hands are up at this point that I can see. Rightio. So does somebody care to move that recommendation?
I'm happy to move it, Gretchen.
Thank you, Mayor Ali. And Councillor Patterson, are you seconding? Yep, great. Anyone want to speak on that? No, we'll put it then. All in favour? Aye. Against?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you. The next two are just around timing. There may be questions though. Sorry, throat just getting tickly there.
I just have a question, Gretchen, just in relation to timing, given that there is an election. Is there likely to be any hiccup in timing on a monthly, just given that there may be some different people sitting around this table? Potentially quite a few of us.
How strict do we need to be in sticking to the exact month alignment? Yep. Good point.
Sorry,
is there anyone who wants to?
I guess we don't need to be strict about it, but I guess there would need, well, sorry, John, if you could provide advice on that, but I think we could probably slightly adjust the resolution so that there's flexibility in it. I guess the main point was discussing with you now and making sure that as a group that broadly what you're comfortable with is meeting monthly and then having workshops weekly if required. It won't necessarily be required every week, but sometimes, given the pace, the lumpiness of the pace with the process, there might be times when we need them 2 weeks in a row and then we don't need one. So
yeah, so it's sort of at a minimum monthly, but the intent isn't to sort of have them every week, but yeah, at a minimum monthly.
Gretchen, I think it's, I mean, the reality will be that we will be very much influenced by the speed at which the government wishes to move. And, obviously we're still working through those initial steps in the same way. So far, the advice has been that we'll be interfacing largely with DIA staff and potentially one or two others. So, no doubt we will need to move in concert with government if they want to shift the way they wish to negotiate or the political time frame at which they negotiate. So I think as you've rightly pointed out, and as Penny has pointed out, if we have a minimum monthly meeting, and then we'll need to work around schedules if that has to be foreshortened for any reason.
Thank you.
Sorry, I could just point out, this is why it's a noting recommendation rather than actual resolution, that we're noting that is how frequently we're going to hold them under the memorandum of agreement. the requirement is that the committee meets either through a workshop or a committee meeting fortnightly. So this is just setting out what we're aiming for.
Rightio.
Yep.
Is there any harm in changing it to minimum then? Monthly? No. Yeah, so we might just add that word in, and noting that it's noting.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yep. So I can move those two together probably. Somebody want to second that? Mia Ali. Anyone want to speak? Nope. We'll put it then to note those. All in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. Thank you very much. That is the first paper done. The next paper looks at the joint prioritisation for Otago Central Lakes and presents some work that QLDC has done on priority ranking. The job that we are doing today is noting those rankings and agreeing a joint priority ranking for Otago Central Lakes to be used to inform negotiations with central government. So, are there any questions? Oh, sorry. First of all, staff, would you like to present this paper?
Yes.
Yep,
so,
great.
The key thing just to highlight here is what's outlined in the paper is the priority ranking that was agreed by the QLDC Council. And by that, I mean the round bullet points are the packages, so the 5 packages, and they are in priority order. And then the dashes are the components of each package, and they are in priority order within the package. And so the discussion today is about whether, considering the Otago Regional Council and Central Otago District Council's priorities, whether there are any, is there a different priority order that we would want to use to take forward into discussion. So at the moment, the DIA has been asking for our priorities. So we need to be able to communicate to them what our priorities are. So which of these are most important through to least important. And at the moment, it seems like our priorities will be important to them and driving that process. That we can't guarantee that will stay that way, and that later in the process, ministerial or central government priorities will trump this. But in the first instance, in the next, in this phase we're currently in for the negotiation, they do want to know what our priorities are. So that's why we are coming and having this discussion now in a meeting, rather because this is the first opportunity we've got to talk to you about it.
Thank you. Thanks for the work that your council has done too as a basis for us to discuss. So yeah, I'm not sure who would like to kick off on this. Perhaps Mia Ali, did you want to talk about Central Otago, where you've come to?
Absolutely. Probably looking at some things for us and recognising that it would be really great. The whole point of this is to be aligned across the 3 councils so that we are all championing for each other as opposed to independently. Capturing value, we would probably put in the top spot in terms of the ability for that to create impact right across both areas. Healthcare, another really important one coming in under that for us, and then followed by transport, recognising that that's also really important to Queenstown Lakes District. The electricity kind of stream and the visitors and investors probably would sit underneath that, but no real steer on which would come first. But yeah, happy to discuss. Probably would like to see that capturing value as the priority project stream for the area, but yeah, whether Tracy wants to add anything into that as well.
No, yeah, I agree with what Mayor Ali has proposed, especially the capturing value.
Yeah, maybe I can respond on Otago Regional Council and where we got to. So we have had a workshop as well where we discussed priorities, but we didn't come to a prioritisation. But key themes that have come through would be transport, which is obviously a direct responsibility and one that is a big issue, Queenstown, but also wider into both districts. It's come up repeatedly. So that is one, and the other one is around probably the capturing value, but the primary production sector and ensuring that growth there is captured and enhanced. That is another big one for us. I think, though, what is a priority, we need to have a look at what are the things that we actually can't live without. So what are the basic needs, I suppose, and are we serving them? I would think is a really, really crucial one. Infrastructure and housing, things we can't do without would have to be top of the list as well. Now, we got some hands up from Queenstown, and then we can come back to Tracy and Alexa for Central Otago and ORC for a bit more. Right, so I think Councillor Cox, you were first.
Well, I'm happy to go second if Glenn wants to talk first. Seniority.
Mia Lewis, go for it.
The point I was going to raise with the staff again, it's, you know, I understand we have to set priorities, but you know, if we start quibbling about moving, you know, within those groups, you know, trying to move one line down, one line up, how much value is that going to be? Because I'm not trying to understand from a DIA point of view how specific they want to be, because depending, DIA is dealing with a whole lot of different government departments, and it'll also depend about how quickly they can react and get involved in these priorities. So it's really just trying to understand how much effort we have to go to here to try and, you know, get it as exact as we think right now, or are we starting too soon?
Can I perhaps offer a comment on that, Gretchen?
Welcome to, yep.
I think Lyle's actually pretty well spot on. I think, you know, when we look at the list, I mean, that's come up from various parties. I mean, really, energy and health seem to be the two that are swapping out a little bit. Transport and value capture are very much there. And you know, this is designed to give us a bit of a framework for us to lead into those discussions with DIA. It's not there as a rigid set, and we would imagine throughout this process what we start with putting in will not be what we necessarily see coming out, and hopefully what we'll see coming out are a lot more specific initiatives. So I suppose my caution following on from Lyle's comment is, we could spend a lot of time trying to work out which are the exact top three, and probably not do ourselves a lot of service through that. But, you know, we have got a group there which is pretty consistent, and it may be that you know, whether it is value capture, transport are the two, and then we've really got health and energy sort of as that third leg of the trifecta, is something that is, you know, potentially, and I'll take Penny's advice, sufficient enough for us to have a framework to move forward from.
I would say that we need to have them ranked more than that. They were pretty, we've tried to, so we have already tried through the discussions with DIA to say they're all important, they're equally important. We need all of them in order to ensure that our communities are prepared for the future. And they were really clear that they wanted us to say, in particular, what is the most important thing. I think probably we don't need to, at that next level, the kind of dashes on the list, the things within the packages maybe, but the packages themselves, they have specifically asked us what is the most important thing, and how do these five, what is their order of priority. So my view is that we do need to come up with an agreed priority ranking. I don't think that means that they are only going to go with the first one, but they've definitely asked us for that priority ranking question. Answer, brother.
Jump in if you want, Chair.
Oh, sorry, I was muted, but yes, I was inviting you to speak. Sorry. Thanks.
Okay. So, look, I agree with Lyle. It's no, it's not, we shouldn't just start beating ourselves up over this one, because I think this will be going through a few iterations with our negotiating partner. These are wildly integrated, both probably the top three sitting with us now. We can't do transport without energy security. We can't provide affordable housing without proper transport links. And you talked about growing the rural economy. I'm pretty sure they're pretty keen to have access through roads. So I do look at capturing value, but just listening to the government at the moment, they are a little bit wary of the term bespoke and special one-offs for certain regions. But look, I'm not going to die in a ditch over which one comes first between transport and capturing value, but the energy security needed for those two is probably where I'd still put electrify Otago Central Lakes in third behind those two. And given that electrify does have a very clear pathway to actually have a very immediate impact in actually saving money for our constituents when trying to reduce their actual power bill. So I think, yeah, that's probably how I'd land. Yep, private investment, public health. I think that's got enough momentum. We can certainly help that out. It's going to happen anyway. And yeah, the visitors, investors. That's I think that'll occur. But like Lyle said, there's no point beating ourselves up and trying to nickel and dime which one should go first and second and third, because I think we're going to be going through this again once we hear from the government. So look, I'm happy with capturing value first, transport, and electrify, and health and visitor. That's how I'd probably see it, if we're quite happy for those first two to be swapped around.
Thank you, Mayor Lewis. We'll come to a wash up towards the end. Not sure we've come exactly to that yet. Yep, Councillor Patterson.
Yeah, I mean, after just spending the days sitting in the LGNZ conference, I think capturing value has got to be at the top, just given what we're hearing from the ministers. Appreciate your words, Glyn. And so I think from my perspective, obviously I can't speak for our mayor, but I think I'm probably happy with where Mayor Lewis has actually landed, with capturing value first and then the other in the order that he said.
Thank you. Right, Councillor Forbes.
Thank you. I was thinking the same thing, actually, exactly the same thing. I don't think we've been told clearly there's no funding available, so we have to capture the value before we do anything. And so I figure that has to come first, and I would have transport second. And I am talking because I don't think we've got a good steer on this through our workshops, really. This is my thinking, having sat through the workshops and the workshop and hearing people talk about it. So I would go with that as well. Capturing value first, transforming transport second, electrify third, and then the other two.
Thanks, Councillor Forbes. Tamer, will come to you and then back to you, Lyle.
Thank you, Chair. I'm comfortable with that as well, although also recognise that some of the aspects under capturing value also enable, or potentially could enable, some of the transforming transport things. So while you may have it ranked kind of 1, 2, just to get around that DIA requirement, I think they probably are still folded in together, and maybe out of that will fall a specific project or ask of the government around the value capture enabling the next step.
Good thinking. Councillor Cox.
Yeah, I support the order. Just a question, maybe following on from what Glenn raised about the word bespoke. Penny, have you got any comment on that, or Dylan, on detailed discussion with DIA about bespoke settings?
We can talk more about that in the next item, which is about the discussions we've been having with DIA about the negotiation process, I think.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other discussion happening there? Sorry, I just got my son ringing me. I'll just tell him I can't talk to him, but can't really not deal with that. All right, there we go. Okay. So from what we've got there anyway, we've managed to sort of agree, I think, on capturing value first, and then what? We've got transforming transport and electrifying Otago third, but and everyone's nodding their heads, which is pretty fantastic for all three councils to have come to that point. And yeah, obviously we can all see that that this will be dynamic and it'll evolve as it does, and we're not the only partner in any discussion as well. So we'll see what happens, but we've come to a good spot there. So, right, coming back to the formal structure of this, we need to note the priority ranking first of all, so I can move that. Someone want to second that? Councillor Forbes is doing that. All in favour? Aye. Against? Carried. And then we're just agreeing on a joint priority ranking. So we'll need to lay out what that is. If somebody wants to do that, we can capture that and then get a seconder. So, Mayor Lewis, do you want to do that? Because you
Certainly.
initiated it.
Yeah, I'll move to agree to a joint priority ranking for Otago Central Lakes, being number 1, capturing value, 2, transform transport, 3, electrify Otago Central Lakes, 4, private investment public health, 5, visitors and investors, to be used to inform negotiations with central government.
Well done.
Can I ask one question on that, Glenn? Just around whether you wanted to potentially swap around the private investment, public health and the visitors and investors, just recognising the traction that's been gained in that space recently, and also the clinical services planning currently undertaken but due by the end of the year, whether that might be better off kind of sitting to one side until we have that data.
I have no. We can swap those two around, so I can change that to.
Sorry, I'm not sure what the protocol is here, but we understand the only reason that work has progressed is under instruction from the minister because of the regional deal.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It still sits within this as a priority. I'm not bothered either way, just for consideration.
So, like, if there's a seconder, I think we should just move on. Chair, like, I have put a motion, so.
Yep. Okay, you're happy with that? Is there a seconder for your motion?
Can I just have it read out again, please? You cut out for a bit there, Meglin.
Sorry, Alexa. So it was agree a joint priority ranking for Otago Central Lakes, being 1, capturing value, 2, transform transport, 3, electrify Otago Central Lakes, 4, private investment public health, and 5, visitors and investors, to be used to inform negotiations with central government.
Happy to second, Chair.
Thank you, Lex.
Great. Is there any debate? Everyone's clear on what that motion is now, I think. So does anyone want to speak to it? We've had a reasonable discussion around the traps already, but if you do, just raise your hand. No? Okay, then we will put that, and it's been recorded. Staff are clear on what they've got there. Yep, no one's raising their hand there either. So we'll put it all in favour.
Aye.
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 Against, carried. Thanks very much. The next part is that we need to move to exclude the public. There is a table there that outlines the reasons why we need to move into public. Exclude the public, into public excluded. It's items 3 and 4, update on negotiation process, and item 4 is the legal advice confidentiality. The table is public and it outlines the reasons. Happy to move. Councillor Cox is moving that.
Yes.
Yep, fantastic. And